Hi guys, what the F? So a truly bizarre individual was interviewed by Sophy Ridge on Sky News, who turned out to be a Tory donor. Now, I've never heard of Judy McAlpine, but I probably should have. She, it seems, is one of the financial backers of the infamous poll that predicted a complete collapse of the Tory party with Rishi Sunak in charge. The Conservatives, according to it, would end up with fewer than 100 seats if Reform UK ran a successful campaign against them. McAlpine starts out by explaining the results of the survey, and then it goes really downhill. Have a listen.
So, first things first, what does the poll show? What's it all about?
Well, I just wanted to know what voters really think. I'm very old, I'm very angry. And so what we've got is quite a surprising result, because we asked people if they'd voted Conservative or whatever they voted before, what would they vote next time? And most of them were saying they weren't going to vote. And then we said, if you had a choice of a different leader, how would you vote? We got a surprising result in that we gave them X, Y, and Z, as it were. And in fact, X was the most right-wing, and they were that was the one, 90%, I think, said they would go for a more right-wing leader.
So the polling effectively, in your view, shows that Conservative voters, former Conservative voters, want a more right-wing,
they want a more conservative values.
Whatever that means.
They also want less of a nanny state. They want to go back to allowing people to actually make a living for themselves or choose what they're doing. And we don't want to be told what gender we are or what gender somebody else is. So much money is now being wasted on nonsense things like gender and climate change and,
So
What the F? Okay, so first of all, I thought she was just talking about the survey, and this is what the results of the survey were. And then the mask slipped, and it's, well, we don't want to spend money on gender and on climate change. Nonsense like this. What a bigot, what a charlatan. These are the people who want to put Boris Johnson back in charge.
You describe yourself as very old and very angry.
Yeah.
You paid for this poll, did you then? Why did you do that?
Because I wanted to know what we were doing. I knew that the Conservative Party itself was rotten at the core. There's been something going on. I started looking at it in 1910 and thinking there's something really bad going on here. And so I'd just been watching them stab people in the back, watching people being manipulated. So Boris got well and truly hung by his own people, or what should have been his own people.
So do you think...
This is a pile of crap. Boris Johnson resigned in disgrace. Now, Boris Johnson and his supporters claim that, well, it was the members of Parliament that pushed him out. It was the blob. It was the media. It was everyone apart from the members. They claimed always that the members had supported him. But if Boris Johnson was truly popular, then why wouldn't he run in the by-election? So he could have easily run in the by-election. When the by-election was called, he could have ran again and showed the Conservative Party that he still had support. But Boris Johnson, of course, would not run in the by-election, so he resigned beforehand to avoid a by-election because he's a coward and he doesn't really have as much support as he claims he does.
Do you think that Rishi Sunak should lead the Conservatives into the next election?
Well, if he does, we certainly won't win. And I'm absolutely convinced that, well, it's not just me. This poll showed, because eventually it was choose between names, and if we got Boris back, there's a fair chance, at least we get the Conservative voters back. And I think, if nothing else, the Nadine Dorries book has actually proved that Boris didn't lie. He wasn't breaking rules.
Boris didn't lie. Where's your evidence? Nadine Dorries' book. That's like saying, I have evidence of Spider-Man existing. Look, I found this comic book. It contains a story of a boy who gets bitten by a radioactive spider. See, there's evidence that Spider-Man exists. This is insane. I have evidence that Boris Johnson didn't lie to Parliament, didn't lie to the public. Where is your evidence? Well, it's in Nadine Dorries' book. Nadine Dorries, who's a sycophant of Boris Johnson.
And if what she's saying is not true, Why haven't they all taken her to
So
court?
what is going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it feels like, there's lots of talks about plots.
Yeah.
There's lots of polls in the Telegraph.
Why is Sophy Ridge entertaining this? Why is this person important? My first question would be, you are a Tory donor. Why are you a Tory donor? Why are you donating to the Conservative Party? Why aren't you taking this 70,000, 80,000 pounds that was spent on this poll, giving it to charity? Wouldn't that be much more useful to society? Instead of you funneling money into the Conservative Party for I don't know what reason. This is the problem here. You have charlatans like this who have more power than the average voter, than perhaps thousands of voters.
That have been effectively used to, I guess, trash Rishi Sunak, to say that he should be more like Reform, more like Nigel Farage. Is there a plot, and are you part of it?
No, I'm not part of anything. I'm totally independent. I'm not even a political animal. I really,
Oh, come on, you're a bit of a political animal.
No, I'm not. As I say, I'm just angry. And I'm...
Angry with what? Angry with whom? Not angry about things that your party has done to the public, has done to Britain over the last 14 years. Not angry about that. You're angry about internal politics within the Conservative Party. That your golden boy isn't in charge.
I love my country, and I hate to see it going to the dogs. And I hate to see... we've got far, far too many people coming in freeloading. We're paying too many English people, British people, to sit on their backsides and not work.
Jesus. So she hates people on benefits as well. I thought it was just, I want to get Boris Johnson in, but it seems she hates immigrants and she hates people on benefits. Too many lazy people. How did she make her money, I would love to know.
I mean, the whole thing is just nonsense. We need a good shake-up. Look at the NHS.
I mean, but some people would say, you're a big fan of Boris Johnson. Some people, I guess, would say that, look, Boris Johnson's poll ratings weren't anything to write home about by the end either.
Well, no, but we know now why. Because they were really well manipulated. I mean...
If they were manipulated, if the support for Boris Johnson was real, then why didn't he stand as a candidate? Why did he resign? Why didn't he stick to his guns? No, he ran away because he's a freaking coward.
I mean, there is a seriously nasty, a mafia, as it were, somewhere. OK, it sounds... Somebody's going to say, oh, she's been at the drink. I haven't. I couldn't even get a drink this evening. No, but seriously, it's really bizarre because it does read. I mean, that book was called The Plot, with good reason.
Okay.
And it actually shows what's been going on for a long time. And it's gradually got worse.
My God, these people have zero concern for the country, zero concern that there are people who can't feed their families, can't pay the bills, can't pay the rent, can't pay their mortgage. And they're more concerned with internal politics within the Conservative Party. We need to get Boris back because Boris will win us another election, because their focus is not on actually improving things for British people. It's about getting our boy back into number 10. That's their goal. They have so much money and they're so disconnected from the reality of ordinary people that this is their priority. She spent 70 or 80,000 pounds on a freaking poll. As I said, that money could have helped some homeless people. She could have given it to the NHS. She could have given it to a charity. No, I'm going to waste it on a frigging poll to convince members of the Conservative Party that they need to put Boris Johnson back in charge. Boris Johnson doesn't even want to be in charge. He's making more money on the side, outside politics. These people are a disgrace. These people should be nowhere near politics. As I said, a donor has more power than 1,000 voters because they are able to truly influence politics. They're able to influence policy. They're able to get what they want. To hell with voting, you need to donate. As I've joked before, make a donation to your local Tory MP. You might get a PPE contract. They should be nowhere near politics. And unfortunately, these are the people in the driving seat. These are the people who are making the decisions because they are the ones influencing politics. They are the ones influencing the Prime Minister or ministers. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.